common names for ether are, people call it ether. But they really don't understand that there actually are lots and lots of ether molecules. When you hear the word ether, they're probably referring to dimethyl ether. So it has two methyl groups, one on each side of the oxygen. Anybody here ever used any ether?
Start things.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
It works.
That's what they sell it for,
Works
right?
well. Yeah.
It works great in your old tractor, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Spray it in the carburetor. It's highly flammable.
Or on a tire for a big truck. It's great.
Yeah, they use it to lubricate the tire. Yep. That's what it's really supposed to be used for. It's not supposed to be sprayed in the carburetor. It's too flammable. It's dangerous.
Well, it's dangerous with that. They light that thing up and fire.
Very dangerous, right? Ethers are very flammable. The oxygen that's in between the two carbons is very reactive. Okay? So much so that it's actually a problem in, like at large universities, when old chemists retire, old organic chemists, they'll have bottles of ethers. They actually form these explosive compounds, peroxides. So they actually, a lot of times, have to bring the hazmat team in to dispose of all the old ethers and stuff these guys have.
So now, when they used to use that as an anesthetic.
And they used to use it as an anesthetic. There's a couple reasons they don't use it anymore. Let's see, let's get over there. Number one is that we have better drugs than we had before. Number two, it had some bad side effects like nausea for a lot of people. If you put somebody to sleep, you probably don't want to be nauseated, right? You don't want to throw up while they're asleep, so that's why we don't use ethers. Also because ethers are so flammable, right? If you have an operating room full of ether and there's a spark or something, you can blow the place up. It's not good, right? If it's good for starting your tractor, yeah, probably don't need to be using that in the operating room, right? So they have lots of other anesthetic molecules these days. Normally, they do use gaseous phase anesthetics, but they also use ones that they inject you with and stuff too.
So what are the ones that they use now as a gas?
Well, you can still use it. Nitrous oxide still works. That's what dentists use, right? Laughing gas, it's an anesthetic. And I don't know what the other ones are all synthetic molecules that they use. I'm not sure exactly what they are. I've seen them, but I couldn't tell you. I don't remember what they are. I'm not an expert in anesthesia. So, but I mean, a lot of times they inject you. Every time I've been put to sleep, I was injected with anesthetic. So.
The Michael Jackson drug. That's what they use.
Yeah. Well, and once you're asleep, though, if you're intubated, they put stuff into the air to keep you asleep, right? So, or they can. They don't necessarily. Not everybody does it that way, but you can do that. But they also just use an IV drip to keep a little bit of anesthesia going all the time. So, with the ether, people wake up and then you have to remask them and you have to get them back to sleep too, right? Plus, if you're putting ether on a mask and you're smelling ether, it kind of makes you lightheaded. It was never good. So these are just some of the modern ones that they use. Not really worried about drawing structures. All right, properties of alcohols. Here's a common place to find alcohol molecules in hand sanitizer. I don't personally believe in hand sanitizer. Anybody here carry Purell around and use it and stuff all the time?
It's better than not being able to wash your
When you
hands
work
at
in the
all.
medical field, anything works.
That's right. It's
I
better.
don't believe in hand sanitizer.
If you don't have soap and water and you go to the bathroom, that's better than.
The reason is because I think that these hand sanitizers are killing all the bacteria and you're actually reducing your immune system.
If you use it too much.
I don't ever use it. Wash my hands when I go to the bathroom, that's good enough. I actually don't even believe in antibacterial soap. Water gets rid of most of the bacteria on your hands.
Most of the Dawn stuff, I don't know if it's Dawn, but dish soap doesn't have antibacterial.
No, they've taken it out of some
Because
stuff.
it's just a decrease.
Yeah, it's just a degreaser. Yeah, so, but these antibacterial soaps are, for the solvent, they use alcohol. if you ever put it on your hand, right, you feel how cool it feels. That's because the alcohol is taking heat out of your hand and evaporating. So they use the alcohol as a solvent. Some of them can be as high as 60 or even 85% alcohol. Right? So you might as well just go buy some isopropyl alcohol and pour it on your hands. Same thing, right? Pretty much.
Dries it up quick.
And they're very flammable, right? You can take hand sanitizer and burn it pretty easily because it's got all that.
Thing, when I was back in high school, boys would put a thing in their hand.
And light on fire.
And light their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now people will drink the alcohol in the little bottles and
yeah.
to get drunk alcohol.
Alcoholics will actually drink it.
Yeah, we can't leave it in
Yeah,
the
they
rooms.
drank it in high school too.
That is nasty.
They would drink hand sanitizer.
Yeah. People,
I've heard like.
alcoholics will drink Listerine, hand sanitizer, vanilla. Vanilla, because for vanilla, they use alcohol to extract the vanilla flavor out of the vanilla beans. So when you buy out the vanilla in the bottle, it's actually, the solvent is alcohol, ethanol. So if you're an alcoholic, you'll drink vanilla, you'll drink hand sanitizer, you'll drink Listerine, you'll drink NyQuil, you'll drink all kinds of stuff like, because alcohol's in most of it. Yeah, so the other class was asking me how I knew all this stuff about alcoholics. Do it?
What is it in alcohol that makes it addicting? Is there a molecule? or-
It's ethanol. Your body becomes used to the ethanol and it needs it.
Physically,
It becomes a physical and a mental addiction,
It's like
yes.
a smoker.
It is a physical addiction.
Yeah.
The other class asked me how I knew this, and I said, well, and I thought for a minute, I said, well, you might as well know. Both my parents are alcoholics and both my ex-wives are alcoholics, okay? So,
Goodness.
That is terrible.
It's terrible.
so the statistics say if you grow up in a family of alcoholics, you'll marry an alcoholic.
I thought it was you could become an alcoholic.
Yeah, I think it was.
After a while, you have to start looking at yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
Maybe I caused the whole thing.
Or maybe you're attracted to like versus like.
That's exactly what the statistics say, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, were they alcoholics before they married you?
That is the question, isn't
So, the answer here.
it? One of them yes, one of them no.
So that leaves you nowhere.
You drove her to drinking.
We've been married over 20 years, so.
You drove her to drinking.
All right, well, let's talk about the structure of alcohol molecules. We'll talk more about drinking alcohol in a few minutes. Here's the structure of alcohols. This is going to be important when we talk about proteins as well. You'll hear these terms, primary, secondary, and tertiary, okay? Now let's look at these three molecules up here. There's a primary alcohol, a secondary, and a tertiary alcohol up there. The one on the left, primary, because the carbon that has a hydroxyl group only is bonded to one other carbon. When you look at secondary, the hydroxyl carbon is bonded to two carbons. So I'm going to call this carbon right here, I'm going to call that carbon my hydroxyl carbon. My hydroxyl carbon is bonded to one, makes it primary. Here my hydroxyl carbon is bonded to two other carbons, it's secondary. And here my hydroxyl carbon is bonded to three other carbons, that makes it tertiary. Okay? And you might say, well, who cares? Well, the fact is, this structure and whether you're primary, secondary, tertiary determines some of the reactions that you can do. Okay? So, here, you should be able to tell me, are these primary, secondary, tertiary alcohols? There's one of each. So look at them and then we'll talk about them. Okay, for just a minute. Y'all ready? What about the top one? What do you think it is? It's secondary, right? Because this is my hydroxyl carbon and it's bonded to two other carbons, right? So this is secondary. What about this one? This one is primary. This is my hydroxyl carbon. It's only bonded to one other carbon. That means that this one must be what?
Tertiary.
Tertiary, right? This carbon is bonded to three other carbons, so this one is tertiary. Well, what about some of the chemistry of these alcohol molecules? Well, are they soluble in water? We talked a long time ago about solubility. And what did I say? When you go to the store, if you're 21, and you buy alcohol or beer, is the ethanol floating on top of the water, or is it mixed in?
Mixed.
It's all mixed in, isn't it? That means that it's soluble, isn't it? Okay? Well, as it turns out, alcohols that have 3 or fewer carbons, so 1, 2, or 3, are fully soluble. They dissolve in water, no problem. If an alcohol has 4 carbons, it's slightly soluble, and once it gets up to 5 carbons, it's not soluble at all. So the question is, why is that? Well, let's look at it. Here we have methanol, and this is oxygen, and this is hydrogen, right? The oxygen wants electrons, so it has a slightly negative charge, just like the oxygen in water does. So the hydrogens in water are attracted to the oxygen in ethanol, or methanol. The hydrogens are attracted, or the hydrogen on the OH is attracted to the oxygen in the water. Now, why are bigger ones not so soluble? Well, let's think about it. This hydroxyl part makes it soluble, right? Well, think about this part competing with this part. As long as this part over here stays kind of small, the hydroxyl group is effective at making it soluble. But once this part over here, which is nonpolar, gets really big, what happens? The hydroxyl group looks kind of small, doesn't it? And it can't win that battle. So as long as the molecule is small, the hydroxyl group will make it soluble. Okay? So 3 or fewer, soluble. 4, slightly soluble. 5 or more, just not soluble at all. Okay? Phenols. Phenols are a special type of alcohol. They contain a benzene ring and with the hydroxyl group on them. They used to be very commonly used as antiseptics, okay, in cleaners and stuff. I don't think they're used hardly at all anymore because I know what phenol smells like. It smells disgusting, and I can't remember the last time I smelled it in a cleaner. I've used it in the lab before, but I don't remember seeing it out in the world anymore because it's very carcinogenic. Okay? Causes cancer. So if you get it on you or ingest it, it can cause cancer. And so you don't see it nearly as much anymore. So, which one of these two is soluble in water? B is, right? It only has 2 carbons. The one on top has how many carbons? 6 carbons. Not soluble at all, right? So insoluble and soluble.